Hello everyone, welcome once again to Spicy Talk with Onwadia. It's always a delight to have you join me here on this channel. If today is your first time coming across this channel, please consider subscribing and leave your notification bell on. And you, my returning subscribers, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for your love and your support on this space. Today we'll be talking about the impact, the effect of divorce on children. Divorce can be a difficult time for family. It is not just for parents realizing or trying to figure out new ways of communicating or relating with each other, but also learning new ways to parent their children. The effect of divorce on children varies. Now, some children just see it, take it naturally and understand with the parents saying that, okay, the situation is beyond control or is irredeemable. So they just accept it naturally and they understand. But there are other children who find it difficult. They struggle through watching their parents get divorced and living separate lives. Now, some of the effect, especially when the divorce process is still ongoing and it is dirty, some of the effect on children can be very devastating. One of it is poor academic performance. Poor academic performance in the sense that some children, because through the divorce process, they get confused, they don't understand what's going on. It affects them directly. So some lose concentration in school. They lose focus. They stop listening because their little minds are wandering around. They are confused why mommy is yelling. They are confused why daddy is unhappy. They are confused why they can't be a family. They are confused why they have to live apart when they are together. They don't understand these things, so it affects the academic performance. The second one is loss of interest in social activities. These children find it difficult, to relate with other children, especially in school or their peer group. Why? Because they see these other children with their parents and they don't understand. They feel out of place. So because they feel out of place, they don't want to, relate with other children. They withdraw. They stop playing. They stop hanging out. They stop all their fun activities because they are sad and unhappy. I mean, what child is going to be happy seeing the family torn apart? So it affects them negatively. You see them withdraw back to their shell. You see them lonely and isolated all the time. Whenever you see a child that way, know that that child is dealing with something internal because they are battling with so much. Like I said initially, in their little minds, they don't understand the whole process. Why they have to visit daddy every other week or why they have to visit mommy every other week. Like they don't understand it. But whereas whenever they see their friends with their father, with their mother, or whenever they go out for functions or occasions, they see, their friends with both parents together. So tell me how it's going to be easy for them to relate with these friends. And some of them don't want to be bullied or laughed at, so they withdraw. It affects their social activity as well. Another effect it has is the feeling of guilt. Children who don't understand what's going on sometimes feel guilty and they blame themselves. They begin to wonder, did this happen because of me? Is it because mommy loves me too much? Or is it because daddy bought me a toy? Their mind is confused. What that does to them is it leaves them feeling emotionally pressured, which can lead to depression if it's not well taken care of, if it's not properly managed, if it is not detected early that this child is fighting the feeling of guilt inside. So parents, watch your child carefully. If that child is withdrawn and crying all the time, please speak to that child or get the child a counselor. They need a therapist or a counselor to help them. So they also make them understand that it is not their fault. Even without seeing the sign, you need to let your child, if you're going through a divorce proceeding with your husband or with your wife, call your children and let them know, look, this is no fault of yours. I and mommy are not together, not because of anything. It is not because of you. I and mommy are not together for no fault of yours. we just cannot stay together anymore as a husband and wife. So it is not your fault, and you can always have both of our love. So assure that child, give them that assurance that this is no fault of theirs, because children have a way of reasoning, they have their own way of thinking, and before you know it, in the long run, this guilt never leaves them if it is not tackled. Don't think that this thing is going to be easy on the child or children. Another bad effect it has on children is anger and irritability. Some children are overwhelmed with all that is happening. They are so overwhelmed with maybe the fighting, the quarreling, and they are so overwhelmed with all the divorce proceedings that they become angry at themselves, not just at themselves, at their friends, or even at the parents. You see a child, with irritable behavior. You're wondering, why is he or she reacting that way? It is due to what they are dealing with. They get provoked easily. They get mad at their friends, even for a minor laughter, even when they are being teased for not even on the divorce thing, even a little tease that the child would have laughed over, the child picks offense, gets angry, and even fights. So anger is something that overwhelms the child, and because they don't know how to express themselves, they carry it out on themselves or other children. So parents, watch this. In as much as you know the reason why you're going for a divorce, always consider your children. Look at them closely. Put a close eyes on them. When you see them behaving irrationally, don't just assume that, oh, all is well. All is not well. Do something about it. Let that child get help. Let that child get the help of a counselor or a therapist to help overcome that feeling of anger welling up inside of their heart. Then another effect of divorce on children is inability to adapt. Because of the changes, father and mother have parted ways, father is living somewhere else, and the child is finding it difficult, to adapt to the changes. New environment, new house, new school maybe, and new friends. That's a lot for a child to deal with. So they find it difficult adapting to new environment. Even the house, things are no longer as it used to be. Then new friends, it's difficult to make friends. So the changes affect them as well. It affects them. So before you go into divorce, please consider all these things and ask yourself, is it really worth it? Is this something we can walk over? Do I have to let my child or my children go through this? Then finally, this one is on the long run, loss of interest in marriage. Children whose parents are going through divorce or have gone through divorce, study has it that they have the higher chances of not holding their homes down as well. They lose the interest because you, who is the role model, the father, has shown to him that, look, you can get married and get divorced. Or you, the mother, whose child is looking up to as a role model, has seen it that, look, we can always part ways. So it's always difficult for that child, even though they promise themselves that, look, I'm going to do better than mom, I'm going to do better than dad. But some of them end up doing the exact opposite. So I just want to quickly say that divorce has a very huge impact, negative impact on children. It's not always easy. If you can work your marriage out, by all means do so. Please, marriage is beautiful and sacred. If it's something you need help, then seek the help of a counselor, a marriage counselor, a professional. Unless it has become abusive, or unless it is toxic, or unless your life is at stake, unless you're no longer happy and you're feeling depressed, then you can leave. But in as much as you're leaving that marriage, ensure that your children are well taken care of. Also make sure that it doesn't affect or impact them negatively, and even if it's doing so, help them out, help them get over it. Don't just assume that they will be fine. Some of these children don't get over it. They carry it in their heart for a very long time. So guys, this is where I leave it today. Until I come your way, don't forget to thumbs up and leave your notification bell on. Until I come your way again with another interesting topic, I remain Onwadia. For now, I say bye-bye.